And gosh, I feel like for the sake of, I even put it in the in the little log line there. I feel like for the sake of you and just diving right in so we can relax afterwards, let's just get right into Petrolicious, buddy. What's going
Oh
on?
my God,
What
dude,
happened with Petrolicious? And then let's talk about your position on it.
I opened such a can of worms. Well, I guess there were a lot of cans of worms that were opened. So for those who don't know, apparently the founder and CEO of Petrolicious, Afshin, who I don't even know this guy. I've never met him before. Whatever I know about Petrolicious. I was more a fan of them when Ted Gashu was kind of at the helm and curating things. And I don't know, like there's been a change. There's been a little rift in the videos, and they're a little more bougie lately. And I don't know. It seems like they've kind of gotten away from what they originally were trying to
Sounds
do.
like you're
Not to
saying
shit on them
content
or
wise,
anything.
you've sort of
Yeah,
drifted
I don't
away.
know. I don't know. It's just different now. Like I used to really care for them. And this is before all this like hell broke loose this week or whatever. And
Okay.
so so this week apparently some very unbecoming things were found on the CEO founder's Facebook page. And
Ugh.
I mean like yeah, like not great stuff, man. Like I mean, I'm the last person to want to get into politics. Like I like to keep it about cars, trust me.
Yeah.
But it just stuff that was said that just wasn't very nice, and calling certain groups that are going through some hard times right now domestic terrorists and all of this, and I was like, man, that's not cool. I mean, I feel like all of our problems are so easily answered. Just be fucking nice to each other. Like I
Well,
don't know
yeah.
what's so hard about that
Decency, sure.
lately. Just be decent to people. I mean, it's hard to like I try not to judge people because, unless you walk a mile in their shoes, you don't know what they're going through. And so I posted something on my Instagram the other day, a little logo of Petrolicious with a little Ghostbusters type red cross through it, just saying that, hey, I'm not down with what this guy's saying and haven't been watching Petrolicious videos for a while. And
You're talking
yeah,
about
you
the
know what I'm
anti,
talking
like
about.
that you would say,
Yeah,
like no smoking, no parking, just the circle with the
exactly.
line through it.
Yeah, so come
Yeah.
to find out that's now I guess that's the cancel sign. I didn't know that. So
Okay.
the Ghostbusters were canceling ghosts back in the
Well,
80s before it
whether
was
whether the
cool.
sign whether you and I have, it's important everyone else knows. You and I have not talked about this. In fact, we've
No,
specifically not talked at all week so that
purposely.
we could do it
Yeah.
here for the show.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, because when you and I talk on the phone, then it's like, oh, well, this would have been really good content for the show, so let's just
We
not
blow it,
talk.
yeah.
And it's hard, but yeah. So
Well, so whether or not you realized the logo was sort of cancel culture, what you were doing was certainly cancel culture. Was that the
I don't
intention?
know. No, it was not my intention. It was
Okay.
my intention was, this is my personal Instagram feed.
Hmm.
I'm done with Petrolicious. I wasn't telling everyone to boycott Petrolicious. I wasn't telling everyone to, only listen to my opinion because nobody gives a shit what I think. I don't think. So it's like the fact that everybody got in this heated argument on my stupid thread about a stupid,
Try to pull it
Petrolicious
up here.
thing. Oh, it was bad. I mean, it was
Well, I
it
don't
was
want to get into
really
the nitty
really
gritty
bad.
of comments and everything, but I do want to
Well,
get
no, I
into
won't.
the
But I did certainly
yeah, and
lose
you
some
hashtag
followers
drive out
over it.
hate. That's what. So it was the
That's it. That's
Petrolicious.
all I said. I didn't say boycott. I said I even like if you read the post, it even says no more Petrolicious for me. Not like hey y'all don't watch Petrolicious videos anymore. But my buddy Jason Torchinsky, who writes for Jalopnik, wrote this story, and that's I think what really kind of blew everything up. So people were
Gotcha.
going on Afshin's, Instagram, and he had to like disable comments. It was this whole mess. But yeah, it got way out of proportion, run way
Well,
out of proportion.
yeah. I mean, it's.
I
I
don't
see
feel like
both
I was
sides of this one.
promoting
I really
cancel
do.
culture.
What's that?
I don't feel like I was promoting a cancel culture. I was just saying I personally,
Well, I'm
if
going to
that's
read
how
the
this guy
people saw
thinks,
the
I
picture. It's a
go for it. Yeah.
Petrolicious logo with the no ghost thing, and no room in our hobby for bigotry or hate. Certainly agree there. There's way too many other positive and talented filmmakers out there like Ren Films or Valkyrie Films or ML Auto Photo to get our car porn fix from. Plenty of car porn out there, you're right. No more Petrolicious for me, period. Feel free to share or repost this logo with the hashtag DriveOutHate. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Hopefully, this encourages some up and coming filmmakers to start making their own amazing content. Technology has never been cheaper and more within our grasp. I mean, you make some good points, and you certainly are
Right.
encouraging to a certain area, but you definitely are clear about I'm done over here.
Yeah, me on my post. It's funny
Yeah.
because I had, and the same thing happened to Rod Emery. I don't know if you know this or not, but like a couple of weeks ago, I think there was like the when everyone just kind of took a break from social media, and they just posted the black square. Oh man, like I saw some of
Oh, I
his
did it. Well,
comments
that
and
was the blackout. Yeah, sure. I
everybody
mean,
did. Yeah, yeah, because it was just like, hey, let's focus on something more important than ourselves for a change, and
that
I
was
could get
June
with that.
1st. That was 1 month ago yesterday.
Well,
It
there
was
you go.
mine.
How fitting. There you go. So, oh man, I went and read like some of the comments on Rod's posts, and like people were like, "Get back in the shop and just build a car. That's what I'm here
Yeah.
for." And all, I was
Gosh, I
like,
mean,
"Geez,
when you've
man,
got
like,
that big of a following, I mean, you
right."
know how it is. You just can't please anybody no matter what. And when you've got that
I
big a
don't know how it
following,
is. I don't have a big
the
following,
bookends are wider.
but
Yeah. The bookends
yeah,
are
I get
further
what
and
you're
further
saying.
apart. You and
Oh
I, with a few
man,
thousand
so
people, you don't really, a couple people can get under your skin. I would
mhm.
assume with when you're in the hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff like that, when all of that racket is coming at you all the time, I have to assume you get better at tuning it out. Do
Probably
you
so.
think? I
And
mean, I assume so.
well, I mean, I know a lot of people don't even bother reading their comments. Like, I mean, I had this talk with Matt Farrow when I was on his show years ago, and we were talking about just how nasty people are behind the keyboard these days, and
And
YouTube
that was
comments, how
then.
those are the worst, and he doesn't even read them anymore. He's like, it's not even worth it, and it's not. I mean, but I mean,
When you don't respond to comments, do people then get all upset? Do they then get all, how come, I mean, how come they're not on the other end?
I think so because then they know that you don't really care, and you're not, getting into that argument. So, but I still
Yeah, but does
responded
it
to
to
a
me it
couple of
doesn't
them.
translate to I don't care. I understand that may be the appearance to the other side, but it doesn't translate to I don't care to me.
Right.
Sometimes it's like you said. I mean, like you sound like he couldn't even didn't want the drama of it. Some people can't
Right.
handle it. I mean, I myself, when it first started, I was never good at dealing with the criticism. My whole life, I'm not good at dealing with. That's hence the artist, the whole
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm susceptible anyway. But even with a small amount, I just have to assume that when you scale up to those levels, you
It just
gotta
gets
get
worse.
maybe not used to it,
Yeah.
but you gotta get tolerant of it. I would think.
I would think so. I don't know. So, long story short, I lost some followers, but I gained some cool ones. So, whatever. I mean, if
Well,
if
I
people
think
think
if you
that
were
that's
doing what
terrible of me to demand decency in humans, then whatever. I don't need you following me anyway. And I told some people that. I'm like, look, if you don't, I'm not asking you to agree with me. If you're that butthurt about it, then it's really easy to unfollow me. So unfollow me. So
I
whatever.
mean, I think that's a healthy position. I think that's a
I mean, I
healthy
wasn't
position. I mean, this
right.
is
I
just
mean, I was.
social media after all.
It is. It is. So I don't know.
For me, it just came down to if someone is posting hateful things, I then want to have a conversation with that person. I mean, you brought it up to me earlier that day before your post and everything. You said, "Hey, did you see what's going on with Petrolicious?" I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't follow
Mm-hmm.
anything." And
Right.
when I went and looked a little bit, I saw, oh, okay, people said he posted some stuff, and I saw the stuff, and of course, I mean, if you just look, I mean, it looks inflammatory to me for sure, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the guy meant, and I do
Right.
know that as somebody who says the wrong thing almost daily, at some
Well,
point,
we
and
all do.
sometimes
Nobody's
here where there's a
perfect.
record of it,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's me misspeaking for what I actually meant to say, that's bad enough,
Mm-hmm.
or someone else taking what I said not as I meant it, that's bad,
Right.
or sometimes you just like accidentally say the wrong thing, and that's that happens to
Yeah.
everybody.
It does. It does.
So,
We're all
and
human.
then of course there's, oh, I intended this, and no, I don't like, and this is what I mean, and that's how I feel, and that's seems to be what everyone is jumping to a conclusion, and then
Mm-hmm.
no more Petrolicious. I'm not
Right.
willing to do that without a conversation. I read the thing. Yeah, I know people are saying, oh, straight PR babble. I'm like, yeah, but it's also kind of like the right way to handle it. I don't know what else somebody would
I don't know.
do. I
Yeah.
don't
Well, it's
think
one of those damned if you do and damned if you don't.
that's
I
what
mean,
I
if he didn't
feel.
release a statement, then people would have said, "Oh, he obviously feels this way." He releases a statement. It's like you can't win at that point. There's
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
He was getting flack for backpedaling, and then he's getting flack for saying the things in the first place. So I mean, I do see both sides, and it does suck. But I don't know. For me personally, in all fairness, Jason Torchinsky, my friend who wrote that article on Jalopnik, he reached out to him and was like, "Hey, here's your chance. Like, if you didn't mean that, you
Oh,
know, tell us what you think." And then he never heard back.
that's a bummer.
So I mean, they
I
did reach
know, I
out to
know
try
him. I
and
mean,
get both
we've
sides.
met.
Yeah.
I knew him way back in the day before Petrolicious was really a big deal. He had just opened that garage. He only had his personal cars in there. They were printing out stickers and putting T-shirts in envelopes. You know what I mean? It was
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 years ago, whatever it was.
Right.
I don't know him to be that person, the person that people are
Mm-hmm.
calling him out to be. I don't know him that well. It's not like we hang out, but I have met him. I had conversations with him, and I'm also a pretty good judge of character. Not perfect, by no means perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't get that vibe from him. I don't get that vibe from him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that I'm not wrong or that his feelings haven't changed in the last 5+ years. You know what I mean? I don't know, but
Yeah.
I just I'm not willing to jump on the bandwagon without either having a conversation or finding out from him, what he meant.
Right.
But for
And
God's
that's
sake,
totally fair
everything
enough.
you
I
said,
mean,
I agree with. No room for hate. No room for. I mean,
yeah.
all we do is preach love, and that's why this room is so colorful. It's all about the color bars and the fact that we're all different and celebrating that.
Yeah.
That
And I
to
mean,
me
we
is
need
what
that
art's all
more
about.
now than ever. My God. I mean, everything's and you know what? That stupid little post yesterday or whenever it was, day before, I don't remember when it was. That
It's got
that
legs.
shows that shows me how polarized we are as a country right now. Because it was like, here's the line in the sand. Where
You got
are
your own
you?
little taste.
Yeah, I did. But it's so weird because I mean, I'm not, I mean, again, not to talk politics, but I mean, I'm a pretty conservative person as far as politics are, all things considered. But I don't really fit in any box. I mean, I have a
No,
concealed permit, I carry guns, but, but I also am for gay rights. My sister's a lesbian. So, I'm not your
you're all over the
typical.
map.
I am all over the map. I mean, I basically don't hurt kids or animals and we're good.
Yeah.
Like
How do
that's
you
kind
feel
of
about
where
abortion?
I.
No, don't answer that.